Congratulations, Linda Levin. You are the bomb. I'm so proud of you for getting this award, and I'm proud of Common Cause for giving it to you and for recognizing how much you have delivered to the state of Rhode Island through your campaign for open records and open meetings. I think Linda has contributed to open records and open meetings in three different ways. The first is through her teaching. She has been had been at URI for a number of years, decades even, and had hundreds and hundreds of students who she taught how to fight for transparency. And often I would go by her office and they would be sitting there and asking her questions, and she would be telling them how to leave and how to go out and get what needed to be gotten. And so it was always so special to hear her fire them up. The second reason why Linda should get this award is because she is such a champion of open records and transparency for not only Access Rhode Island, but for many other news organizations. So for example, the New England First Amendment Coalition, the Rhode Island Press Association, and the New England Society of Newspaper Editors. Whenever someone asked her to write a letter, to write a commentary, to write an op-ed, to go and to testify in front of the General Assembly, she never said no, she always did it. She's just an amazing one-woman show. And then finally, I think Linda deserves this award because she's so terrific as a role model for other women in journalism. Linda was one of the first, if not the first, journalist who was female to work in the Providence Journal newsroom in the 1960s, covering something other than features. So she's not only been a role model within that newsroom, but I think Linda has been one of those women in journalism to tap against the glass ceiling so that some of the rest of us a few generations later could actually go through it. So I appreciate all the things that she's done. Anyone who names her cats after Supreme Court justices who vote in favor of First Amendment issues deserves this award. And Linda has been doing that.
I think Linda is definitely worthy of an award like this. I've known her for over 2 decades in the context particularly of the group Access Rhode Island, which has been working on open government issues. And she's been a driving force in that organization for all that time. One of the first major things that Access Rhode Island did was publicize a report that she put together with students at URI, where she was teaching, that looked at the way police departments were failing to comply with the law. And that report got an enormous amount of attention and really helped put some pressure on the legislature to pass amendments to the law that have had a very profound effect on open government in Rhode Island. Well, I really think that in general, the most important thing she has done in these 2 decades is help keep Access Rhode Island alive, moving, and relevant in the state. You know, it's a volunteer organization, coalition members come and go, but Linda has really been one person who's been there the whole time. She served as chair of the coalition for many, many years, and that's a thankless task, but one that she's done without hesitation, and I think it is what has made Access Rhode Island a very important force in the state. People listen to Access when they make statements, when they put together testimony, and I think it's largely a result of her pushing this for so long that that's the case.
It really started after my first trip to the Soviet Union with a small group of newspaper editors from New England. And we spent a lot of time for about 2 weeks meeting with journalists over there and learning that, in fact, there was no such thing as freedom of the press, open government, and it was a very, very difficult time for them. And it made me realize how important this is in our country, because we really could have a free press, have had a free press, and hopefully will continue to have one, unlike the Soviet Union. I went back again a few years later after it had become Russia and the Iron Curtain had dropped, and I found that there was still a lack of freedom of the press over there. I've gone back 2 more times, and found pretty much the same thing. And it really made me appreciate what we have in this country. And if we don't protect what we have, we won't have it anymore. Well, for one thing, it's a small state, and I'm not a native of Rhode Island, but I've been here long enough, a long time, long enough to see some of the quirks. And I'm not quite sure what the reason is, other than that there's a lot of incestuousness in government. And I don't mean necessarily people married to other people or related to other people, but it somehow, it has pervaded the state and local governments that it's okay to hold back information. We have a current situation with the Attorney General's office right now. It's terrible. It should never happen. And just as we think that we're getting somewhere with this, then we get knocked back a few steps with something that's being held from the public. No, I think if I had anything to share, it would be I'm preaching to the choir at Common Cause. You guys understand the importance of transparency in government. So just keep doing what you're doing and do more of it if you have to.